Before I get into testing the tubes, I thought I'd show how this tuner works. You can see that round disc that kind of wobbles back and forth. Well, that is what makes this work. And I have to be really careful with that disc. Here's another look at how that works, and you can see that small slot where that disc rides, and that's it. This works on friction. So I have to again be very careful with that disc. I decided to test the 80 tube first, the rectifier, on this precision tube tester. As you can see, plate 1 and plate 2 are all the settings are the same all the way across until we get to the end where it says depress B and then C for plate 2. The tester is set up for the 80 tube, and now I'm going to plug it in the 4-pin socket. Now I press B. Now I'm adjusting the line voltage. Give the filament some time to heat up. Okay, now I've pressed the test button and it moves into the green, but barely. Now I press C and that moves up a little bit more, but still not as strong as I'd like. The next tube that I wanted to test was a 42, but we have a problem here on the roller. There is no 42. Now I used to have 2 of these testers, an early version of this. This is the newer model. Well, back then they decided that some tubes it just wasn't worthwhile having the information anymore. But today it's definitely worthwhile having. So while I had the 2 testers, I did a comparison between the 2 and wrote down all the differences. So I have that setting. I mean, all the knobs and switches were the same, so basically it was the same tester, just didn't have the information I needed. So there's the 42 information, and I have set up the switches for the 42, and now we're going to test it. Now I'm going to test the 42 tube. Put it in the correct socket. I'm adjusting the line voltage. There's the book I made, and I need to depress B and C at the same time. Now the filament's going to start lighting on the 42 tube. I'm adjusting the line voltage again, and here's the test button and you can see the tube starting to respond, but it doesn't look good. It's in the red, which says replace. This is the audio tube. I thought I'd double check the switch settings to make sure I have those right. And they are. So the 42 is going to need to be replaced. I have finished testing the tubes, and I put them back into the chassis there. Let's start with the 80 tube. We saw that it was just into the green, and plate A and B were not equal in emissions, so that tube will function. Might have a little less voltage and maybe a little bit more hum, but we can definitely use it. Here's the 42, and it showed bad. It'll probably still function, but the audio will be weak and could be mushy also. The 75 tested bad also. That's another audio tube, and that maybe not mushy. It's possible, but chances are low volume. This is the 6D6, and it is weak. That's an IF tube, and that could give us a weak signal there, but it should still function. And this is the 6A7. It tested good, and that is very good news because that is the oscillator tube. So even though we've got some tubes that test bad, I believe that they'll all function, so basically I can go ahead with the repair and worry about getting new tubes later. Thanks for watching.